Hello, and welcome to the introduction of your Innovation and Industry on-campus internship. Congratulations on being appointed to the position. I wish you all the best and hope that you enjoy the experience, gaining great insight and knowledge of your subject area and learning more about yourself along the way. As you may or may not know, the internship has been designed alongside a pathway. A pathway is a course of streamlined resources that are to support your development during the internship. I shall explain that a little more in just a moment, but first I would like to share a little background information about the Innovation and Industry on-campus internship. As well as background information, I will also be covering a few other aspects that are crucial to your internship. I will be explaining your contractual obligation, expectations of you whilst on your placement, and a brief explanation of future opportunities that are available once you have successfully completed the pathway and internship. But first, what's it all about? I'm going to provide a brief explanation as to what the Innovation and Industry on-campus paid internship is and why it has been created. More importantly, what strategic initiatives the internship supports and who it impacts. The Innovation and Industry internship is an initiative that has been developed by Student Futures and is supported by Research Wales Innovation Funding from the Higher Education Funding Council for Wales. Researchers and academics at Cardiff University were invited to submit a project that would link to key initiatives such as Innovation for All that focus on real-world issues affecting society. The range of projects submitted from 9 of the schools within Cardiff University is truly exciting. The hope is that we will broaden the pool of people engaging with innovation due to the scope of the projects through a range of disciplinary areas and external partners. In doing so, we hope to enhance the learning of our undergraduate students by creating opportunities to network and establish working relationships with those external organisations, as well as developing practical experience and knowledge of innovation and enterprise. As previously mentioned, you will be expected to complete a streamlined pathway during your internship. The purpose of this pathway is to help you realise your full potential by enabling you to articulate those skills developed throughout the placement and in turn increasing your chances of future employability, be that as an employee or as a new business startup. In 2015, the Welsh Government passed a bill called the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act that supports the ambition of Wales and gives permission and legal obligation to improve the social, cultural, environmental and economic well-being of its people. The Wellbeing of Future Generations Act requires public bodies in Wales to think about the long-term impact of their decisions, to work better with people, communities and each other, and to prevent persistent problems such as poverty, health inequalities and climate change. The Act is unique to Wales, attracting interest from countries across the world, as it offers a huge opportunity to make a long-lasting positive change to current and future generations. Projects submitted for the Innovation and Industry internship could focus on the development of a new product, process, or policy, and/or could underpin an organisation's cultural change and systemic rethink of their mission or purpose. As you can imagine, this could have a significant impact on future generations. It includes all the current ambitions and goals that have been made in a bid to create a better, equal, and inclusive world where we can all benefit. The essence of this scheme is what this image represents. This image, as you can see, is an adaptation and interpretation of a Japanese concept of finding purpose in life. Ikigai roughly translates as life purpose or worth. Here, David McCandless has titled his adaptation Reason for Being, and the image is from his book Information is Beautiful. This scheme has been designed and created with that concept in mind. It has been designed to enhance the student learning experience by providing opportunities that support learning and personal growth, idea generation, collaboration, and innovation by connecting Cardiff University undergraduates with industry. So how does all that impact you? It is hoped that by completing the internship and the pathway, you will be better placed when considering your future career, direction, and goals. To achieve that, you will be given access to additional learning resources that will support your learning and the development of your employability and enterprise skills. The project placement is a great foundation that will provide you with relevant industry skills and commercial awareness. It is hoped that this combination of resource and experience could ignite a spark of innovation and imagination, which might develop into a potential business or enterprise proposition after the placement is completed. We at Cardiff University recognise the breadth of talent, ingenuity, hopes and vision of its students. We want the scheme to support our undergraduate students in recognising their potential and constructing the future they hope for. What we must agree is that you are equally committed to that vision. As a paid employee, you now have a contractual obligation to this scheme and what work is being asked of you during your internship. So what are your obligations? As a participant of the on-campus internship programme, you are expected to attend in person unless otherwise stated to the working environment. As with each placement, the details of which have been explained to you at interview or post-interview and were stated in the job advert that you applied for. With every working environment, there are health and safety regulations, policies and procedures to abide by and standards set. Please familiarise yourself with these and speak with your project lead or supervisor to ensure you are aware of how to conduct yourself professionally. You will have or will need to complete a non-disclosure agreement as part of your placement. This protects the projects, ideas and research conducted and is legally binding. Your participation and the work contributed to the projects are owned by Cardiff University and/or project provider, which are protected by copyright, trademark or other legislation. As a participant and employee of Cardiff University, you're expected to conduct yourself in a professional and responsible manner, working courteously with the people involved both within the university and those externally. First impressions do matter. How you conduct yourself with external partners, your project leads, supervisors and colleagues is important. This sets the tone and precedent of who you are and how you wish others to view you. And finally, marketing. The nature of the scheme has a lot of vested interest and hope for its future development and continuation. As part of the contractual agreement, we might call upon you for feedback and comments that could contribute to any future marketing or promotion of the scheme, and if agreeable, perhaps a photo of yourself too. To continue with the notion of contributing, it is worthwhile explaining our expectations and what we expect from you. In brief, we expect you to work hard and contribute to the project. We do expect that you will learn about your subject, industry, and yourself whilst completing the placement and pathway. And we also expect that you will provide critical feedback that will help shape the future direction, content, and experience provided by this internship. Let's explore in a little more detail the work expected to be produced by you on completion of the internship. Besides the work conducted as an employee within the project team, you will be given time in the working week to complete the innovation and industry pathway. These activities and tasks have been streamlined and vetted to create a series of useful, informative and helpful guides. Some content you might have come across before, and if so, we ask that you venture into the pathway with an open mind. We would like you to work your way through the pathway, completing the necessary components that will help you find your ikigai, your life purpose. All the material is accessible on your mobile phone, so you can read or watch content whilst on your journey to work, during a break, or simply in your working environment. Everything within the pathway has been selected with your experience both personally and professionally in mind. Working your way through the resources will help with the creation of your exhibition poster, a revised CV, and the completion of a mock video interview, which I will explain in just a moment. As I have mentioned, the resources, activities, questions, and content all lead towards these outcomes. The first outcome, an exhibition poster. To help with the design and formatting of your poster, we have created a series of templates that simply require you to drag and drop content into the relevant boxes or spaces. As you can see on the slide, the circle zooms in on the section of the poster titled Objective. For this part of the poster, you are asked, what is the objective of the team? Another question reads, what was your objective when applying for the Innovation and Industry Internship? What did you hope to learn, achieve, or gain from the opportunity? The templates are essentially a series of boxes that contain written guidance and questions to help you. All you need to do to complete this exercise is to write a few short paragraphs and source some high-quality images. we have created a short tutorial that visually demonstrates how to complete your poster so you can follow at your own pace and in your own time. The second outcome is a simple update of the CV you submitted as part of the recruitment process for this internship. All you need to do is update your skills and competencies, your work history, and any other details you feel are important. Once you have completed those small edits, we ask you to upload your CV to CareerSet, which can be found via the link on the screen. And finally, the mock interview. It is worth reminding you all that you have already done the hardest part of this internship. You all have attended a real interview and were successful. This is a mock video interview that is reviewed by artificial intelligence. As you can see by the image, I have conducted the exercise, so can speak from experience. This is a great tool for each of you to see how well you perform during an interview scenario. The whole purpose of this exercise is so you can reflect upon your answers and ability to articulate the skills, knowledge, and attributes you possess. Once the interview is complete, your results are generated and sent directly to you. You will be able to watch yourself back and read the review of the answers you provided. I can tell you all 6 questions asked in the mock video interview relate to the learning resources and your internship experience. So, if you do the work, you'll be well prepared for the questions, which leads neatly onto what you will learn during the internship. Here is a flow diagram of the pathway that you will complete during your internship. This is part of the job remit as stated in the job advert and should be treated as part of your placement work commitments. As I have mentioned before, you will be allocated time in the week to complete the pathway. I strongly urge you to engage with the learning resources as they feed into the exercises and tasks that I have just discussed. Stage 1 is focused on your unpacking of who you are and what you value, self-awareness. Some of you may have already participated in exercises and activities that explore your personality traits. If you have done similar exercises before, I would urge you start afresh here. Identifying what motivates us, what inspires us, what makes us happy might sound rather whimsical and arguably elementary. But finding your element, the thing that makes you truly happy, and turning that into something that brings value, purpose, and financial support could be how you find your ikigai. Discovering how you work well, where you fit into a team dynamic, and what behaviours you elicit when under pressure are incredibly important for your future employment, career development, and interview scenarios. Exploring your strengths and weaknesses is an opportunity to be seized. Using your knowledge and recent self-discovery, we move on to stage 2. In this phase of the pathway, you will develop your commercial awareness and critical thinking skills. Whilst learning about your industry or on perhaps a local, regional and/or global level, you will also be asked to consider your views, thoughts and values that pertain to ethical issues within your subject, discipline or industry that directly or indirectly impact on a social and/or environmental level. The natural progression from self-awareness and discovery to reflecting on our own actions and behaviours that might directly or indirectly impact others is crucial to the development of our collective future, and even more so, your decision to continue the cycle we currently operate in or choose to make a positive change or difference. Rest assured, we do not expect the world to change in a 6 to 8 week placement, but we do hope to ignite the thought that could contribute to positive change in our collective future. Which is why in stage 3, we ask you to apply your learning. We ask you to reflect on your experience and learning and to identify what you have gained from the experience and how you might apply that to your future. It is as important you are asked to complete the tasks I have discussed previously, the exhibit poster, your newly updated CV, and the completion of a mock video interview. All this work is to be completed by Friday the 2nd of September 2022. So if your placement finishes in July, for example, you have a significant amount of time to complete the work. I must state very clearly, you will not be paid for this additional time, which is why I urge you to make the best use of your time whilst in employment. You should be allocated 2 hours a week, which is adequate to complete the work expected. It is therefore your choice how you manage your time and workload. I wanted to ensure you are fully aware of the time constraints and to reiterate the pathway as part of your contractual obligation. Your experience is important to us and we value your feedback. As a pioneer in this placement scheme, we want to hear what you thought was great and what ideas you have to improve the internship experience for the future. You are the first group of students to complete this placement scheme, something you can include on your CV. Your experience will ultimately shape and inform how our decisions and plans will be actioned as we continue the scheme for future years. You are and will be an influencer. Your feedback will help in the continued efforts of Cardiff University to create the best possible opportunities for students, staff, and external organisations in the development of this opportunity and much more. We have a brief window of opportunity, as you can see from this timeline. The internship begins in June and ends in September. You have that time to complete the pathway activities and submit the necessary outcomes. The poster exhibit is planned for the end of October or the beginning of November 2022, which is when the startup support package begins. You have the choice of simply completing the innovation and industry pathway and continuing with your education or future employment after graduation, or you can choose to begin the optional phase of this scheme, which is to develop an idea you might have for business. Those of you graduating this year have up to 3 years in which you can access this support. If you are interested in the optional pathway, you should have an idea already formed to some extent that you can bring to the programme. Cardiff University recognises the importance of new, innovative and exciting ideas that could develop into future business opportunities. We want to provide opportunities, environments and support that will help you achieve the future you envisage for yourself and others. Please note the idea cannot and should not be an adaptation of something you have seen, witnessed, developed whilst on the placement. The idea you have can indeed come from the same subject area, but should under no circumstances copy or plagiarise any research or work of the project you have been engaged with. This would be a significant breach of contract and will be taken incredibly seriously. The Startup Support Package consists of a series of workshops, business mentor meetings supported by a range of online tools and resources. During the programme, you will be asked to pitch your idea with a chance of receiving a significant cash prize that is intended to help with establishing your business. Successfully working your way through the programme, you will have further access to funds, additional advice, and even a designated desk space from which you could work. Log into your Student Futures account to find out more. Here is a list of contact details. Your first point of contact should be with your project lead or supervisor. I ask that you approach your project lead or supervisor first with any questions or queries. They are there to support your experience, so please ensure you have their contact details saved. Student Futures is also available to help with additional queries you might have during your internship. Every school at Cardiff University has designated careers advisors, and they are there to help and support you with your career direction, decisions, choices, questions, and queries. Any questions regarding the subject of careers and employability can be discussed in a one-to-one that should be booked online via Target Connect. And should you have questions regarding the innovation and industry pathway, please contact me via the email address provided. Thank you for listening. I wish you all good luck and look forward to your feedback.